The ocean looks calm, almost harmless. From the surface, it feels like a quiet blue world where everything is known, measured, and understood. Waves move gently. Light reflects softly. It gives the impression that life here is simple. But that is only what we see on top. Because the moment you go deeper, everything changes. And I mean everything. At a certain point, sunlight begins to disappear. Not suddenly, but slowly. Like the world is being turned down layer by layer. Colors fade, warmth fades. Even sound feels like it's being swallowed. Until finally, there is nothing, just darkness. A darkness so complete that it doesn't feel like night anymore. It feels like another dimension entirely. A place where human instincts stop working the way they should. And deep inside that world lies the Mariana Trench, the deepest known place on Earth. A location so extreme that for a long time, scientists believed nothing could possibly survive there. Not even bacteria, not even the simplest form of life. Because the conditions are not just difficult, they are brutal. The pressure alone is beyond imagination. It increases so intensely with depth that it can crush metal, destroy machines, and collapse structures that were designed to survive the ocean itself. And yet, life exists there. That fact alone changes everything we thought we knew. Not long ago, scientists discovered a completely unknown organism inside the trench. Something that was not washed down from above, not accidentally transported, but something that had evolved specifically for that environment. A creature shaped by pressure, by darkness, by isolation. A life form that should not exist according to normal biological rules. And yet it does. And that raises a question that feels uncomfortable. If life can survive there, what else might be hiding in that depth? To understand how this place was even discovered, we have to go back in time, long before satellites, long before deep-sea cameras, even before humanity fully understood the ocean. In the late 1800s, explorers were still trying to map the unknown parts of the Pacific Ocean. The ocean floor was a mystery back then. No one knew what was really down there. During one expedition, sailors lowered a weighted line into the water to measure depth. It was a simple method. Drop the line, wait for it to hit the bottom, and calculate. But that day, something unusual happened. The line kept going and going. 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers. There was no bottom. It felt like the ocean had no end. When the weight finally stopped, the measurement revealed something shocking. They had discovered an enormous underwater trench, a massive crack in the Earth's surface, stretching for thousands of kilometers. This was the beginning of what we now call the Mariana Trench. And hidden within it was a point later named Challenger Deep, the deepest known point on Earth, nearly 11 kilometers below sea level. To even imagine that depth, you would have to place Mount Everest inside it. And even then, the mountain would not reach the surface. It would still be underwater, completely swallowed. But the question is, how did something like this even form? The answer lies beneath our feet. The Earth is not one solid piece. It is made of massive tectonic plates that slowly move over time. These plates float on a layer of molten material deep inside the planet. And in the Pacific region, something powerful happens. One plate is forced beneath another. This process is called subduction. As one slab of Earth slides downward into the mantle, it drags the ocean floor with it. Over millions of years, this movement creates a deep scar in the planet's surface. That scar becomes a trench, a wound in the Earth that keeps shifting, changing, and deepening over time. Even today, the region remains geologically active. Earthquakes occur far below the ocean surface. Volcanic systems form along its edges. It is a living system of destruction and creation, happening silently beneath the sea. Now, as we descend deeper in imagination, The ocean itself begins to change. At the surface, life is everywhere. Sunlight supports entire ecosystems. Tiny organisms drift through the water, producing oxygen that the entire planet depends on. But as we go down, that life begins to thin out. Light weakens, color disappears, and the ocean becomes something else entirely. In the mid-level depths, creatures begin to evolve strange abilities. Some develop giant eyes to capture the smallest trace of light. Others become transparent to hide from predators. Many begin producing their own light through bioluminescence. The ocean turns into a silent light show. Flickers, glows, pulses in the darkness. Fish flash signals. Squid communicate in glowing patterns. Tiny organisms shimmer like floating stars. But below this layer comes a place where light no longer exists at all. A region so dark that vision itself becomes useless. Here, survival depends on adaptation. Predators with massive teeth wait in silence. Deep-sea hunters move slowly, wasting no energy. Strange creatures with glowing lures attract prey directly into their mouths. Every organism is shaped by pressure and survival, not comfort. And then, deeper still, we reach the Hadal Zone, the deepest region of the ocean, a place buried under kilometers of water, where temperatures are near freezing and pressure is almost unimaginable. The seafloor here is not like sand or rock beaches. It is covered in fine sediment, slowly built over thousands of years from particles falling from above. Dead organisms, minerals, dust from the upper ocean, a constant slow rain of the remains of life. And yet, life continues. Strange, shrimp-like creatures move across the seabed. Pale, almost translucent animals drift through the darkness. Some organisms look so soft and fragile that they seem impossible under such pressure. And then, there are the truly bizarre ones. Single-celled organisms that grow to the size of small objects. Living structures that challenge everything we understand about biology. Forms of life that should collapse instantly under normal conditions, but instead thrive here. Because in the deep ocean, rules are different. Physics feels different. Life feels different. And then came the discovery that unsettled scientists the most. A newly identified species was found in conditions once thought completely uninhabitable. Its structure suggested long-term adaptation, not accidental survival. This was not something that fell into the trench. It was something that belonged there. And that changes everything. Because if one organism evolved for this environment, then it is likely not alone. The deeper question now is not whether life exists there. The question is, how much life exists there that we have never seen? The truth is uncomfortable. We have explored more of the surface of the moon than we have of the deepest parts of our own ocean. Only a handful of human missions have ever reached the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Each one brief, each one limited, each one revealing only a fraction of what is actually down there, which means most of it remains unknown, unseen, unexplored. And in that darkness, anything could exist. Not necessarily monsters, not necessarily anything dramatic, but life forms so unusual, so adapted, so unfamiliar, that they may not even resemble what we define as life in surface conditions. And that is what makes the deep ocean so powerful. Not fear, but uncertainty. Because every new descent brings the same realization. We do not fully understand our own planet. Even now, in an age of satellites and space exploration, there are places on Earth that remain more mysterious than distant planets. And the Mariana Trench is the clearest reminder of that fact. A place where light never reaches. A place where pressure reshapes biology. A place where life continues quietly, far below the world we know. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest discoveries are not above us in space, but beneath us, in the darkest parts of our own ocean.